did.
The Chinese are colonizing Africa as we speak, but they don't even want to mention that. And they don't want to mention that there's more slavery going on around the world now. So they don't really care about slavery.
Look, so many people are intellectually and emotionally stunted that the example that I gave you about what I was going through, that was the life of a 19, 20-year-old young man. I mean, come on, I was a fucking kid going through those things. I didn't know what life was at the time. I did. I still don't know shit. I'm in my 40s. There's a difference between that young man behaving that way and you behaving and clinging to poisonous ideas when you're in your 40s, when you're in your 50s. It is assumed that at some point in time you experienced some practical sense of life. You were exposed to some kind of practical system, and the fact that you couldn't wrap your head around the fact that the ideas that you're holding on to is keeping you from evolving and moving forward in this system. If that is the case, then most of these people really, really, really are just DOA. Most of these people are just really DOA. And it's just so many of them that I'm seeing. It's sad, actually, if not shocking.
Brother Ish, did you want to say something before I ask Karan a question?
Just, when we talk about, I just wanted to raise a point. When we talk about Black people owning slaves and, you shout out the percentages. I mean, the number is really a small number, and it is part of the culture at that time. A lot of times people that are counted as slave owners were of mixed race. Their numbers are saying that there was about 3,775 Black slaveholders in the South who owned about 12,000 slaves, which was a small percentage of a total of 2 million slaves that were held in the South. So it's a small number. You can't, to throw that out there to say, oh, well, Black people own slaves too. Of course. I mean, Blacks own slaves, American Indians own slaves, Europeans own slaves. Slavery was practiced all around the world at that time. That is just a reality, but that does not excuse the atrocities that were done. That does not does not deny the effect of that experience. And the distinction that's not highlighted and that's brought up, that in our unique circumstances, our identity from head to toe was stripped, and we were given a new identity and presented a new perception of self. So a lot of times the problem with Black people in America is that we're clinging and searching for an identity because we've been stripped of who we are innately. And that's why we're clinging to this, and we're gangbangers here, or we're Negroes here, we're colored here. Like every 30 to 40 years, there's a new name for Black people in America. We're African Americans this generation. The previous generation, we were colored. So that's just an identity. So I'm just giving you the history. It's not necessarily crying, it's just really calling it out for what it is. Look at the history and see the balance of it.
Okay, so let me say something real quick. You just said 2 million people like it was nothing.
Did we not catch that?
I thought, I was the only one that caught that.
No. I think we all. He said Black people only own 2 million other Black people.
No. I didn't say that. I said that that was a small percentage in comparison to the over 2 million slaves that were held in the South. That there were only 12,760 slaves owned by Black people.
Oh, I'm sorry. 12,000 Black slaves owned by Black people.
So let me ask you something.
I'm saying in comparison, contrast. That's my point.
Hold on.
It's not equitable. Is my point.
Hold on. It's not what?
Equitable.
How is it not?
If you were one of those slaves, you would have been okay with it just because you were owned by a Black person?
Wait. No, not at all. I mean, again, not at all. I'm saying it's a byproduct of the culture.
Yo, Renaissance man, did you just hear that? This man said it wasn't equitable. Excuse me, can you say that again, brother?
That's what I said. It wasn't what?
Are you saying that the juice wasn't worth the squeeze to mention the fact that these niggas were slaves? Because it wasn't that many of them?
I wasn't saying that at all.
But you just said it was inequitable.
What I'm saying is this.
What are you saying, brother? If it's not equitable,
the point that if you bring, or not you, I won't even characterize you personally. The point of it being brought up in argument and conversation is that now Black people, that a small number of Black people own slaves, so that dismisses the atrocity, that dismisses the aspect. I mean that's what it's saying, because you're trying to equate.
Hold on. We have to look at population to the percentage of population. Okay, if there were more Black people here, more Black people would own Black people. Okay, if there were more Black people here, more Black people would own Black people.
Because again, America only got about 1%.
Portugal
got 43. So imagine if America would have got 43% of the slaves.
Thank you. Okay, so
you're saying that 1% of the 1%, 1% of the 1% own slaves.
Hold on. You're also saying, I don't recall, but none of us said, no one's trying to diminish white people owning Africans by saying that Black people owned Africans too. You're way off. The reason why we say that is to teach that slavery happens with humans, period. So we say it to combat making white people bigger than they are. That is why we say it. We don't say it to excuse white people like, oh, well, see, Black people own Black people too, so white guys aren't that bad. That's not why we say it. Nice skate. Take the skates off. The second thing, you just said that Black people own Black people. It was part of the culture. It was at a time where owning Black Africans, that's what we did. So if you're going to excuse, using your logic, if you're going to use that excuse, then let white people skate. Why are you still sucking them? Why is the circle jerk going off of white people? Why don't you say it was the fucking culture? We owned bitches back then. Why are you still riding the dick of the white man if it was just part of the culture? Why don't you chalk it up to the game? Charge it to the game. Back then, people owned people. Charge it to the game, move on with your lives, and stop making white people a deity. Answer that.
Because in that aspect, it's not just saying charge it to the game. There has been a point in American history or just world history where there's an accountability of a moral line that says that was wrong. We apologize and we repair the damage that was caused. If you identify that dynamic and you say, this is what it is, this is how it has to be dealt with.
You people,
so,
you're
so if hold on.
I do apologize.
Jen, I didn't interrupt.
Apologize to me. I can't move on.
I'm not saying apologies will fix it. I said repair it. So, because I'm gonna start reparations. Repair if your country, if it has been a moral line has been determined that owning slaves is humanly wrong and morally reprehensible, and that you as a country or a group of people benefited from that, and that you are required to, the American government. Let's start there. Let's go to the different European countries.
And then who do you want to apologize?
I'm not talking about apology. I'm talking about reparations right now, beloved.
Who's supposed to pay those out?
The government that has made its money.
What about the ones that were Black people that had slaves too? You gonna go down that far to go after them too?
Why not?
The ones over in Africa as well?
Why not?
Do you know that's not gonna happen, right?
Why would it not happen?
It's not going to. So
why does that automatically automatically the position? Oh, that's not going to happen. Why?
Because the thing is, I deal with reality.
You're powerless to enforce it. And why is that not a reality,
sir? Reality
they said Black
no one is coming to save you. No one is coming to save Black folks.
Wait a minute, Black people were free because of Black people.
Debt that's owed.
Wait, somebody school me. I'm asking an honest question. Black people, slavery was abolished because Black people, or was it politics and white people was like, all right, this was going to happen, this war is going to go down, and then was it Black people?
Well, what it was, Jen, is that white people were willing to kill other white people to free Black people, but
okay, so that's how it went down. So it was still the decision of white people,
right?
Okay.
I mean, I don't know how far we can, how many times this
No,
needs to be
because
said.
you just said, well, there was a time they said black people weren't going to be free, right? But
Correct.
black people are free because of white people. So reparations would have to be a white decision, not yours.
Yes. Who gonna
Reparations would not necessarily have to be a white decision. Reparations could be the pressure that was put on them by black people, and they would have to submit to that pressure. As in
You mean that same pressure we gave them to free us?
how South Africa
can't bring back good
Hold on.
times. You niggas couldn't bring back good times on TV.
Okay, so how did South Africa get free?
What the fuck you talk about reparations?
How did South Africans get free?
Man.
They got free from the pressure that was put around the world by black people and others in relationship to the issue. There's power there.
No,
so
it's
if you're
not.
gonna, if you're right there claiming that there's a unilateral powerlessness when you say white folks ain't gonna do this. Well, then why don't we create a scenario where they will?
By doing
Who's we? Who's we? Listen. Who's we? There are black people right now that own networks, getting fucking wealthy off the backs of black people. Who's we? What are you and Steve Nasheed? Like, who's we? Who's fighting for these reparations? There are black people out here that are saying, I don't identify as black. I am wealthy. I am American. There's more of those than there's not. And then the people that want the reparations don't have the unity, don't have the political power. Who's we? Who's this we?
People are not going to stop because that's going to take time from making a TikTok video. It's going to take time from twerking. It's going to take time from little things. We're too comfortable to go after.
That is absolutely true. But dissatisfaction.
But I thought we were oppressed though.
And there is a group of people that are oppressing us. But then again, through the different actions. Go ahead.
The comfort of black people in this country outweighs the dissatisfaction. You do realize that. Let's talk about reality. The comfort of black people in this country outweighs the dissatisfaction. They couldn't even unify to obliterate the NFL, and that was easy. You know how they had to do that? They didn't have to go march. They didn't have to shed blood. They didn't have to fight nobody. All they had to do was this.
That's it. But we're
absolutely agree.
Literally, I'm talking about no effort, no nothing. All they had to do was pick another one of their 500 channels on their cable box. All they had to do was this to fight oppression and systematically.
Absolutely, I absolutely agree.
That's all they had to do. You think a collection of people, demographic of people that couldn't even do this for like 5 years. No one was even asking indefinitely. Just this for 5 years and fucking collapse the NFL. Just do this for 5 years.
Ish, let me ask you a question. Ish.
So you're asking those same people, to put pressure on people for reparations? You think those people are going to show up? They couldn't even
I don't believe that those people that are totally dialed in and tied in are going to do that. But those that are dissatisfied will, and I believe that they have the power to make the change.
This is the generation of free porn and OnlyFans. This is not the motherfuckers you want in the foxhole with you, brother. Okay, this is not.
Again, it's not exclusive. There are those that are conscious and that are in that space that are willing to make that change. And I believe that those have the ability to create that opportunity or to function off the space of unity.
I will say this, black people. I will say this. What I learned in this country. Black people, it reminds me of a line of the movie The Great Gatsby. Like, black people are the single most hopeful people on planet Earth. Your hope, the hope of, didn't Obama sell a whole campaign with hope on his posters? Like, black people in that word, hope. Y'all are the most hopeful people.
Y'all some hopey motherfuckers. I will say that. Y'all about the hopiest motherfuckers I've ever seen in my life. And because
absolutely.
If you're looking for hope, if you're lacking for hope, go into the.
Let me raise a question. Let me raise a question. For the small numbers of Africans, blacks, however you want to denote the name, if they create a situation where reparations is awarded to Black Americans who descend from slaves, would you not take the opportunity to get that money?
How would that happen, Ish?
Now I'm asking, would you not get the money?
We can play the if
would
game.
You refuse to get the money?
We can play the if game all night.
Man.
I can say, what if a spaceship that carried a baby from an exploding planet?
But will he be
affected?
Let's answer the question. Let's be fair.
Come on. You refuse to answer a question. I don't know why.
I will answer it. Since Godfrey said I'm black, I want my fucking check. I will answer it. I will take the money. But here's the thing. I will take the money because it's free money.
Absolutely.
Anybody would take free money. We don't give a fuck where it came from. You're gonna give me a check? Shit, I got a bill I could pay for that. Pay with that.
So why be opposed to it?
Who's opposed to it? We're telling you you're delusional. We're not opposed.
We're saying we're not opposed. We're just
saying it's not going to happen.
So what about the people?
How do you know it's not going to happen? That's the whole point.
Let me ask you something.
Because if it was to happen, it would have happened right after they freed the slaves.
You're using that hope thing. It's like waiting for Jesus. Y'all still waiting for Jesus to come back. The hope thing.
See, because the thing is, it's like this. Okay, do you know what happened right after slavery ended? Do you know what the black people did?
They started their own businesses. They had their own farms. The Reconstruction era built towns and cities. We had black people in Congress. I mean, there's a lot of things that occurred right after slavery.
You talking about increasing 100-folds in being physicians and teachers and pharmacists, 100-folds, right?
Absolutely.
So they did all that during the time where it was actually legal to be discriminative. It was legal to do all those crazy things that we cry about years way past that. And yet we still here. Although they were able to do it when it was legal to be all that against them, they were able to still do that to a point to where they actually ended up being in a magazine where the white people said that black Americans are the new middle class. We were labeled that, right? During the time where it was legal to be all this against black people. Jim Crow laws, discrimination was legal. But you telling me in the time that we're in right now, we can't make it because of what?
Kev, welcome to the panel. The chat is on fire. Ava Moore, I love this comment.
Bombs earlier.
Yeah, for real. The chat's on fire tonight. Ava Moore says, how is it there are successful black people and others aren't? Seems to me it is what you make it. Otherwise, there wouldn't be any poor white people. And I agree 1,000%
It's the excuse they say about me. I just got lucky.
Yeah.
I didn't make no good choices. I just got lucky. That's all.
Yeah. They'll tell me.
KFC, what you got to say?
It's because I'm queer. That's the one I get.
Hey, KFC, long time no here, sir. By the way,
you got like the last. Hey, shout out to you, MRM. You made some really good points. The only thing I would say to you, and probably as it relates to disagreement on the thing about black people owning slaves, is that it sometimes seems that that's brought in to actually diminish the entire institution of it, and then try to make it seem as if black people were running the institution.
Right.
And
that we already went over that. That's not what we mean when we say that.
Forced it. That put it on the table. You guys. Still a lot, but I will ask you this, Miss Jen. Hear me now?
You're breaking up while
still breaking up.
Yeah. Thank you for the super chat, boy. Kachina? China will have us all in chains before we figure out who's paying or receiving reparations. God damn.
I would agree with MRM is that reparations. Is that reparations probably isn't going to happen? I would agree with them on that, only because of everything you have to go through in order to get it. But average people really shouldn't have to be trying to chase that down. That's what politicians are supposed to be doing. All right, that's what they're for. So this idea that we got to come together and do all of this stuff and run around the Capitol and hold hands and do a bunch of marches and all this other stuff. Everybody else didn't have to do all of that in order to get reparations. So that's probably not going to.
That's true, but I would say that that's true that other groups didn't have to do that, but they also had a different set of circumstances, and it is people who move politicians outside on top of money. So if you put money where it needs to be, you can get a politician to vote the way you need him to vote. And that's where if we pool our resources and function in a collective manner for what affects us collectively, then we can produce success. That's my perspective. In relationship to what brother was saying about how we were successful during the Reconstruction period, it goes back to my earlier position on earlier shows that we were separate. And when we lived in a separate scenario, we are able to create our own reality. And that is my perspective, because I'm a Black separatist at the core.
No, you're not a Black separatist. Define that for me.
Yeah, I think it was the nondescript white gentleman up there in the corner that asked me if I was a separatist the last time. I'm not really necessarily a separatist, but I mean, the whole idea is that if you have same people with the same culture, ideology, heritage, and all other stuff, it makes sense that they would want to be together.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have to mute his mic. What's a separatist? Let me hear this. What's a separatist?
Yeah, somebody who actually wants their own, essentially.
Can you hear?
Yeah.
Can he not hear?
Yeah, when you want your own community away from pretty much everybody else, you want to. It'll be Black run, Black owned, Black directed, Black. Yeah, it will be Black owned, Black run, Black directed, Black independent.
We're talking to Ish.
Right? Asking him, Kev.
I don't think he can hear.
I think he's having some technical issues.
I don't care.
Black separatists are people who want to have their own Black land, Black country, and wanted to do trade and establish businesses in support of Black people.
That's a sellout today.
Oh, okay, so you just have an idea. It's not something
we're called sellouts. Is what we're called today.
It's just an idea.
What do you mean as an idea? I mean, it's an ideology. It's a social political ideology.
Right, but it's not something. I mean, it's not. It's Wakanda. It's not real.
You're absolutely correct.
You don't practice it because you work with white people all day in and day out. So you're not. I'm saying it's an idea. It's Wakanda, which is fine.
It's an idea. It's an idea. I address that truth. It is an idea because it hasn't been actualized into a complete reality. But again, it's an ideology that has its steps and practices and steps in sharing this ideology and evolving it. And there are small steps that are being done. But to answer your direct question, yes, it's an idea. It's not Wakanda per se.
So Ish, let me ask you a question. When this was realized previously, based on your own admittance and acknowledgement, was it done with the help of reparations?
I don't understand your question.
Did we need money from white people to actually be self-actualized? Did we ever need? I don't
have
from them to be self-actualized.
I don't have the strong historical reference to answer that question.
Brother,
so I couldn't say.
No. So Heron is right. We didn't. He's actually right.
Discuss that, brother. Cap. We just see a huge cap. See, this is what I'm talking about with you, Ish. This is what I'm talking about with you.
What about?
I'm talking about with you. When we hit you with the truth, you. What you talking about, brother? I don't
really no, I'm just saying I don't have a historical reference to say where those monies came from and started those Black businesses.
Damn well. So Black Wall Street was built with white money.
And you admitted
Black Wall Street was built with white money.
I don't know for sure.
No, it's not.
Again, I don't know for sure. I don't know if there were loans that were given from white banks. Hold on. I don't know if there were loans given from white banks or if it was money pulled together at the Black church. I don't have that information to refer to at this point. So I don't want to say yes or no.
It primarily wasn't. We pretty much know that, man. Okay, I'm actually going to agree with them on this. Can you guys hear me? I had to switch up. My tech was bad on mine.
So at the aspect, again, it's not about the need for it. I'm saying what we're due and what we're owed. And if there has been a precedent that has been established with other groups of people who were awarded reparations for the moral defect of slavery or the moral defect of their oppression, then why should we not be able to? Why should we not be able to receive reparations?
Honestly, you're not. I don't think collectively, and y'all could get mad. I don't give a damn. Collectively, I don't think the Black demographic in this country is ready for reparations.
Here we go. All right.
I don't think they're ready for reparations. They're going to squander the money. It's going to be gone within hours, if not days. Okay. Now, will we get some new Black entrepreneurs? Absolutely. Are we going to get a Black Wall Street? Fuck out of here.
I mean, come on, Ish.
Will we get new entrepreneurs, Black entrepreneurs, stellar, successful entrepreneurs? Abso-fucking-lutely. But if you think that Wakanda is going to happen after reparations, you're smoking. And I don't know what it is.
Big crack.
Here's the point that I'm making to you, Ish.
Expensive crack.
Here's the point that I'm making to you, Ish. The coveted and the utopia that Black Wall Street was, that we just clamor to recreate. It was done without the assistance of white money. And we had just said this. This was just said. So my point is this. Why continue to concentrate on it? But you said it's basically a like to have, right? It's a nice to have. It's a cherry on the top. It's a you just kind of want to stick it to the man. It's not really that important.
No, I wouldn't
really kind of
characterize it
just
like that. I
want it because everybody else
would
got
not characterize.
Everybody else got a candy bar. Why can't we? Right? Is that it?
I would not characterize it like that. I'm saying that we're owed that.
How would you characterize it, Ish?
I would say that we're owed that. We're owed that
I'm for reparations. I wish they would cut them checks next week. I am so.
We are owed that. If
I am so for reparations. I am so for reparations.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
The many countries that benefited off
necessary. Reparations are necessary. Hold on, Ish. Do you see me talking? This is weird. I know you see my mouth moving.
Go ahead. I wasn't finished, but go ahead.
Reparations are so fucking necessary. I'm all for reparations. Please cut that check. Please cut it. USA, are you listening? Uncle Sam, anybody's out there? Trump, please cut the fucking reparations checks. Please cut them so we can get back to business. I already know what's going to happen with the check. I already know. But the check need to get cut. Cut the fucking reparations check. Cut it.
You motherfuckers couldn't even keep yourself out of jail with the PPP loans. You motherfuckers going to go to prison when motherfucking reparations go down. You niggas going to fuck your lives up.
Man, the way the spending I saw with
why do you guys have that concept that Black people are just going to screw this whole thing up with reparations?
I saw with those PPP loans
based on I don't know, sir. Based
on again, we put that it was only Black people
based on what
PPP loan scams, and there were many white people that were doing it.
Wait a minute, that's a great question. That's a great question. Do you why again riding the pink dick? That's a great question that Kev Z said.
Yeah, you guys hear me pretty good? I'm sorry, I had to switch up my text.
Hold on, let us answer it because I already know how you get down on panels. You ask the question, let us answer it.
Go ahead. I just want to make sure you can hear me. Go ahead.
Yeah, we can hear you great. Thank you.
Okay.
So, what makes us think that Black people are going to squander that money in mass? Haran, what makes us think that? Where are we getting that idea from? What statistic? What percentage? Where'd that come from? Where'd that come from?
Let's just say, statistically speaking and culturally speaking, we aren't necessarily the most fiscally responsible people. We're consumers.
How long does the Black dollar last in the Black community? Let's get down to brass tacks.
About 6 hours. Yeah, I know. We all know the stories. Yeah, about 6 hours. Yeah.
Then you knew the answer.
Yeah, there's some other issues that actually relate to that, though. That relate to that. You guys talked about a lot of things.
Explain
because you guys mentioned how successful Black people were coming out of enslavement, right? Where they built the cities and towns, did all the right things, and honestly, at that point, all that really should have happened with the United States of America was for Black people to be left the hell alone and let them actually determine their own destiny, build their own cities and towns, do their own thing, and that should have been really what happened. Now we know that's not what happened, right?
Absolutely not. You were attacked by mediocre white men, with mediocre white people.
Yeah,
essentially, here's the problem. And I'm glad you're here now, because now we're going to get down to the math of it. Okay, a successful Black person has to contend with the fact that there's still a large swath of unsuccessful white people. And that number will always be bigger than us. So yeah, they will do such things as bomb Oklahoma. They will do such things as attacks in Rosewood and so on and so forth. These are realities. However, we don't need to have these things be our identity. It's just
it's not the identity. It's just the history. Like that has nothing to do with identity. That's just literally what happened.
Just say you stop.
I'm basically when I'm discussing identity, I'm basically talking about the core point of what I'm making since I've been on this panel today. Our identity is based too much on what happens to us in society, or what not happens to us, what doesn't happen for us in society.
Or what
but you know, I think we can all agree that none of that should have happened. Basically, 18, you know, we can talk about slavery and that.
Brother, they shouldn't have killed Cochise. I mean, come on.
We can talk about slavery and that shouldn't have happened. But I would say the time to fix everything was post 1865. Leave black people alone. Let them do what they were going to do, and then you know what, and then we'd have what we have today, which is you know, basically the core of those cities and towns that actually were built at their own hands.
Hey, check this
out.
That's
literally what should have happened.
What if because it didn't happen? What if they decided to do that now?
Well, then that would actually be great.
No, it would be devastating. If they left black folks alone, that means take away the welfare, take away the disenfranchised, take away all the handouts they give them right now.
I don't care about that. So what? Take it all away.
Now,
that would actually be better.
That would be good.
Yeah, that would actually be better. And I'll tell you something else too.
You are a capable black person. You are a capable black person, so you don't need these things. You don't need these things. You're constantly speaking from the lens of a capable black person.
Well, but you're talking as if most black people aren't capable. Majority of black people are not on welfare. They're not even eligible.
As if people aren't capable.
Most people, period, aren't capable.
You're saying
okay, so let's do the let's at least get the percentages right. We know that majority of black people are not on welfare, and because what's the poverty rate? Like 20%, right? And it's actually going down. But the poverty rate is 20%. That means 80% of black people are not even eligible for welfare.
Well, it sounds like we're doing damn good.
Thank you. This is what we're doing damn good. What is the conversation? This is why I get confused with these conversations. Are you the worst? Are you at the worst disenfranchised, or are you the best and the quickest rise? Make up your mind. You want reparations, or are you the baddest motherfuckers on the planet? I get confused with these conversations.
I would say, if you want to put it that way, yeah, we're probably the baddest motherfuckers on the planet.
Okay, yeah, but you need the reparations to finish it off, to put the cherry on top.
No, what we need to be left. I would say black people need to be left alone.
Okay,
to actually do it for their own self-determination.
Are you writing to Zeus Network and complaining to him and Mona Scott Young? Making you look.
You know what? The reason you're always going to have people.
How they're having you look, sir.
You know what? There's always going to be people in the group that actually do stuff like that. I don't appreciate Sexy Red, Sukihana, Cardi B, all those people that do all of that nonsense.
You don't. But go look in her comments. They have millions of black followers. You don't.
Yeah, and you know what? People are going to follow them, and that's unfortunate. Right. But it is what it is. I can't stop that. I'm not even.
All right. So then,
as a matter of fact, that hurts. That if black women actually cared about their their image, they would actually do more to shut that down.
Here we go. Okay. I was waiting for that.
Brothers weren't really protective of their image.
Here's the problem with the black community.
Oh, here we go. Somebody with the problems. Go ahead. Let's say that.
Everything. Here's the problem with the black community. White men, Jewish people that own everything, and black women.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. If you want to the problem. Another thing is
No. I wouldn't say black. No, I wouldn't say black women.
A lot of people. But you said if black women X, Y, and Z. There's a lot of male rappers, black rappers, who talk nothing but filth on those records.
Violence, actually.
Way before Sexy Red. Sexy Red is new. Sexy Red just got here. Black men have been talking on rap records about killing each other and shoving drugs up their ass, and women are hoes and decades. Sexy Red just got here. She's new. She's just getting her feet wet. So a lot of people talk about Black Wall Street, but in my opinion, and you guys could disagree if you like or correct me, I'll stand to be corrected. A lot of people stress Black Wall Street. But if you look at the times now, I feel like Black Wall Street exists. It's just not contained in one area. But Black people have made strides. There's millionaires and billionaires and business owners and entrepreneurs and CEOs and people, you know what I'm saying? The college graduates. I feel like Black Wall Street exists right now. I feel like that Wakanda is here, except it's not contained, right? In one
Yeah, it's
area.
not contiguous. It's not one contiguous location. I would agree with that. There are Black successful enclaves all over the United States. Middle class and upper class. You're absolutely right.
Absolutely.
Matter of fact, when I buy my next house, it's going to be one of those Black enclaves. Absolutely.
Congratulations. But this is what I'm talking about. If that is true, why are we still having conversations from a place of need? They owe us that money. Who's that money from?
You know, look. I get the reparations. I get the reparations discussion. I get the reparations discussion. I actually agree with the MRM that it's probably not going to happen, only because if it was going to happen, it should have happened in 1865 or somewhere in the early 1900s. That way it should have been solved, because now there's all of this nonsense as it relates to it. There's people that have too many questions to try to debunk it. But then the other thing too is that if Black people don't deserve reparations, then I say nobody does. Native Americans shouldn't get it. The Asians shouldn't have got it. Enslavers shouldn't have got it. Nobody should have got it.
It already happened. I'm with you on moving forward. No one should get it, but it already happened. It happened with the
Native Americans are getting their reparations still to this day, so we can cut that down. We can shut it off, right?
In what form?
Shut it out. Just stop it. They're getting paid. Just stop it.
In what form? Just teach us. In what form are they still getting reparations? In what form?
They're getting they're getting cash. They're getting the whatever benefits they get as relates to them being native, being identified as Native Americans, whatever that is. They have the land allotments, all of that other stuff. It's like that's literally the whole point of all of that. So just shut that off too.
Limitations with the Native Americans.
I would just shut that off because the thing is that if the excuse is that Black people can't get it because we're 150 plus years past it, then nobody should get it.
But then what about government assistance? Should that be cut off as well?
I would say that probably needs that's probably one of the first things that needs to go. But I just told you that most Black people aren't even because it wouldn't affect the majority Black population, because only 20% people are in poverty. That means just that small group of people are eligible for it, which means they would actually have to work their way out of it.
Now you sound like Ish. It was only 50,000 people that were enslaved by Black people. So fuck the Black people that need government assistance. Fuck them. Who cares? It's a small percentage.
I got mine.
No, because because they'll figure it out. Look, if you have the majority of the population, Miss Jim.
Oh, no, sir. They're what?
If the majority of the population doesn't need it, then why would we care about it if it's gone?
They're what?
If the majority of the Black population doesn't need welfare.
That's what you said. I said the Black people that are left without government assistance, they're what you said?
No. We'll get them squared away. Don't worry. We'll make sure they get squared away, because they're we'll figure that out. Black people always figure that out.
This is comedy. We'll get them.
Why is that funny?
Who do you think you are?
Whoa! Why is that funny?
This is insane.
Why is that funny to y'all?
How are you going to get them? We'll get them squared away. A minute ago, what you don't want to repeat that you said is they will figure it out.
Well, they will figure it out because they have to. But you know what though? Let's not act as if those people aren't connected.
I don't want to keep y'all inside to mute the mic and then you can speak. Oh, so we admitted, damn, we came the long way 3 hours later. 3 hours fucking later, but we're here. We finally admitted that Black people are quite capable of figuring it out. We are here. 3 hours.
I would say that, yeah. But I would also say that, okay, but stuff like affirmative action, we don't need it. Stuff like the welfare, we don't need that. All these assistance programs, I get rid of all of that mess, because there are people that lean on it. I don't like that, because people. Because what happens today is you have people who actually use that against Black people, and I don't like that nonsense. I would say get rid of all of it.
Let the white man spoke for a minute.
Yeah, just to put it in perspective, it would the amount of Black people in poverty is about the size of New York City. It's about 8.2 million people when you take up the population of Black people in the country. So 20% is about 8.2 million.
Okay, yeah. So 80% aren't.
He said,
Are you telling me we can't bring the other 20% up? Like that's actually not that's not a great number, but that's
there's always going to be an underclass. There's impossible not to have poor.
You can't bring them up. How? Who's we? How you gonna bring them up?
If Black people actually work together, we can make that happen. And by the way, and we don't, and we're not. By the way, and Jen, we're not asking for help from anybody. By the way, because I know you guys like that part. You know, so, by the way, and for the white people, we're not asking for your help either. But what we are demanding,
brother Ish about to fight you, because brother Ish, you hear him? You gonna let him talk like that?
I'm all about. So Brush. So Ish, you're the Nation of Islam guy, right? And I'm not trying to. I want to make this. I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
Yes. No, you're not. I got you.
And I'm not really super familiar with it, so if I'm saying something wrong, just correct me. But I'm absolutely not trying to be disrespectful. All right, but. You know, Nation of Islam is about, you know, as I understand it, especially Malcolm X, you know, Elijah Muhammad, all that other stuff, you know, self-determination, black independence, everything black owned, black run, black directed, black, all black, everything. Nobody else is involved. Because that way, if we screw it up, then we screw it up. All right. That way we can't blame anybody. If it goes well, then it goes well. If it goes bad, then it's on us. And we can't put anybody else into it. I would actually like to see that happen versus all this other nonsense and all this outside, you know, external, this, that, and the third, the welfare, and all this other nonsense and affirmative action. I would actually like to see that.
You know what's weird?
What?
You know what's weird? That honestly, this is I'm not bullshitting right now. You know what's weird? That right now, all of us, all races, creed, religions, genders, all of us right now are literally right now living in a country where we could do what the fuck we want to do. We could get rich if we want. We could stay broke if we want. We could get on welfare if we want. We could get off welfare if we want. We could get educated if we want. We could not be educated if we want. We could have a gang of kids from different individuals, or we could be married and live fruitful lives. Like, it's weird that these reparations are supposed to come and change something that we have the freedom to change right the fuck now. That's what's really weird, that people talk about reparations like black people are in bondage and the reparations is freedom, but we're already free to do whatever the fuck we want with 24 hours a day, just like anybody else. And black people keep proving it over and over and over again with their success, with their entrepreneurship, with how educated they are, especially black women. So it's just weird to me that people talk about reparations like that's the answer to get those 8 million people out of poverty. And we are literally free to make the choice right now, here on today. And they're not doing it. But you think that reparations is going to change all of that. No, motherfuckers are still going to buy Jordans. They're still going to run to Fendi, Gucci, Prada. Okay. And then motherfuckers who would be entrepreneurs anyway, with or without reparations, are going to do that anyway. They're going to do that anyway, like they're doing every single day. So this reparations conversations is quite strange to me, because I'm like, why are you speaking like black people are in bondage? They literally have the freedom to make any decision they want with the redlining now.
Was that directed to Ish or to me?
To both of you, because
let me say this. I absolutely agree.
You two that want the reparations. I want the reparations because I know what's going to happen with the reparations, and I like being right. But I'm speaking to both of you. You and Ish.
And George and I are
coming. Go ahead, Ish, and I'll answer after you.
I absolutely agree that we have the power, but we don't have the collective determination nor the collective sense of identity. So that's in agreement to what you all are saying. That's the challenge in front of us. But the ability of reparations changing a condition is a model that is being utilized currently around the world. Israel is a great example of that. Israel is continuing to receive, for a short period of time that they were under the oppression of Germany, they have received reparations for the past 40, 50, 60 years. So
but black people in America are not under oppression.
What challenge are you talking about?
You are not shackled to anything. You are not getting whipped. You are free. Why are you comparing yourself to Israel? You know how insulting that is to what people are going through in Palestine and Israel? You know how insulting that is? They would look at you and slap you in the mouth, trying to act like you're under the oppression that they're under. You know how disgusting that is, that you could wake up tomorrow morning and go outside and get you a fucking Starbucks coffee and do whatever the fuck you want and not fear death? Do you know how ridiculous that comparison is?
Let me tell you
hold on. She asked me a question, beloved. I know you don't like to answer questions, but I would like to answer her question.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead and answer the question.
Thank you, sir. I believe that there are still sociological injustices. There are a countless number of records that reflect that we are still being treated unjustly in this country, that we are still being, you know, oppressed in many different manners. So yes, no, it's not in comparison to what's happening in Gaza. I agree, but at the same time, we still have we still have the ability. I agree with you on that. We have the ability to create, but we don't have the collective identity. So if what we are asking when we're putting out the point, the argument of reparations is that we want land and to create our own entity and then do the same, following the same model that's existing and is successful. It's not
okay,
simply
really quickly, Gary. No, MRM is not the only intelligent one on the panel. You got to be plumb fucking stupid.
Somebody said that.
Yeah, Gary must be stupid if he thinks you're the only intelligent one on the panel. Yeah, he can't. No discernment, obviously. Back to what you said, Ish. You literally did compare. It's weird that people do a thing and then deny doing a thing. You did compare the oppression of Black Americans to Gaza and all of that. That's exactly what you did. Black Americans in this country are not oppressed. You have to take that out of your vocabulary. You are not oppressed. You're not oppressed here. Literally have, like I said, 24 hours to do whatever the fuck you want to do. When you say
like you, but you know, it's two different things.
And
right.
What?
When you say collectively,
yeah,
collectively, we're not blah blah blah. What are you talking about? There are Black men on the panel that are fucking rocking America. There are Black friends that we have that are fucking rocking America. There are Black men we know that are fucking millionaires and billionaires rocking in America. What are you talking? What is this collective that you're talking about? Some people are go-getters and some people are not, and that's not race specific.
Right, that's it.
Well, again, you
speak like it's an affliction on Black people. That's not race specific. They're white meth heads, trailer park trash. There's a fucking ghettos.
I mean, of course, there is a diversity in all aspects of life. But what I'm saying is that there are groups that work collectively to support the collective whole. That's just an actual fact, and we don't function collectively as descendants of Africans.
That's not
on
true.
On a larger scale.
I'm not. That's
I'm not
bullshit.
talking about on a small scale. I'm not talking about these independent scenarios. I'm talking about on a larger scale. There's not a collective movement towards a liberation of Black people. There's individual achievements.
What liberation? What liberation? How are you in bondage? What year are you talking about?
Let me change.
He talks about me. Who's he talks about? I still here.
And this is why
I need the help, sir. He talks about me now.
I'm not saying the
language. Look at the language that you just used, beloved. Look at the language that you just used. Okay, oppression. We are oppressed. Okay, and liberation. You literally are talking like you and I are on the plantation on a little cotton pick and break.
Yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like.
It does. I was
waiting my turns for Harris to come against me so I can go up north.
I could not imagine you.
It's weird. This is plantation conversation. The liberation of Black people. We are free, sir.
You's okay because you looks like Queen, so you get to stay in the house.
I do.
Now, I have to be out there.
The main thing about America
is crunchy on the crust.
We have to identify.
Let me just say one thing. The main thing that we have to keep in perspective right here is that every single American has this one particular privilege. How you start is not necessarily how you finish in this motherfucker.
Right, not like if you was in India or something like they.
Now, exactly. Now, areas such as Jamaica, if you was born in a shanty town, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna die in a fucking shanty town. Okay, that's pretty much how it works out in third world countries. Okay, even nowadays in the hood, there was a time when it was hard to even get out the hood, but now it's real easy to get out the hood. Right now. See, when I was coming up, it was kind of hard. You might die in that motherfucker. You know what I mean? But now, man, you actually have a solid shot of getting out of poverty in America. So these kinds of conversations that you're having, they're very archaic. They're very disconnected. And may I say, and I think I speak for the panel, they're insulting.
Very.
Because you're speaking to people who've actually accomplished something, and you were literally pissing on our accomplishments and a number of the things we had to go through in order to get these accomplishments. So
again,
respect, sir.
Again,
Please
when you do the math and when you look at the circumstances and situations, the challenges that you have to go through to get those accomplishments are not equal or equitable across the board.
Oh,
so when I'm using the term,
fairness.
Well, in any country that you live in, you are seeking justice. So of course, you would want to have equity in any country that you pay taxes in, that you work in, that you live in, and you survive in. So yes, you're looking for justice and you're looking for equality. So when I'm speaking of,
I'm confused. Again, you have to at least recognize that the language that you're using doesn't apply to right now. It just doesn't. It just doesn't.
So let me say this.
When you say equity, here's the issue I have with that word equity, right? And I'm gonna say this like we're all in kindergarten. When you say equity, right? I'm thinking tomorrow morning at 6 a.m., you and No Saint have the same exact pass and freedom. If you're from New York, to buy yourself a Metro card and swipe it and go downtown and get a job. You and No Saint, y'all could drink from the same fountain now-ish. We're doing that. We're drinking from the same fountain now, right? You can go in a store, buy yourself a suit if you can afford it. If you can't afford a real good suit, you could go to some fucking bargain basement place and get you a cheap suit and go get you a job interview. You can marry here. They let us marry here now. You could interracially marry-ish. Yeah. So equity. You and that white man could do the same exact thing. Okay. And if you have more money than him, you'll trump him. You can get in places that white man can't even get into. So what do you mean by equity? What does that mean? Equality? You want it to be fair? You want to have the same rights that you and No Saint have? Guess what? You do. Welcome to 2023. However, if you're in a better position than No Saint, he can't even fucking get into the clubs that you could get into. Ain't that shit crazy? You think No Saint could roll up to the Jay-Z brunch without wearing a butler uniform?
So Ms. Jen, are you saying that everybody's treated the same in the United States of America? Everybody's treated the same?
No, everybody's treated the same anywhere. Where are you? Where do you all live?
Well, so why shouldn't that be the case though? Because that's kind of how you're talking.
So then if you're saying that, then you're acknowledging that there are injustices that exist in this country when it comes towards Black people.
No, for everybody.
Not for everybody. And when you talk about the excessive mandatory minimum sentencing, when it comes to Black people and the inordinate number of Black people that are incarcerated for the same crimes as somebody like No Saint, then that is a problem.
This is the part I love about this. Look, whenever we had to do something like this going through schooling, there were people that had the same type of crime. One was Black, one was white, right? They both supposedly went to jail and was being arrested, being incarcerated for sexually assault. You know, can't say the R word, for sexual assault. So why did the Black person get more years than the white person? Well, after they sat there and examined them, the white, the Black guy that did the sexual assault, he not only knocked out her teeth and blinded her eye and broke her arm and then prevented her from being pregnant. Okay, the white guy that did the same exact thing, he just held her down against her will, did his thing, and left. Well, then that's exactly what people would say. This one's saying we don't get the details on this. All we get, this Black dude sexually assaulted somebody, he got 50 years. Well, a white dude sexually assaulted somebody, they only gave him 10. You got to know the details of what happened within that, the reason why they threw them years on it. But we don't do that. We're not trained to do that. They don't tell us to do that. All we know, Black dude got more years, white dude didn't, racism. And then answer me this, how was I able to get through school and everything and going through med school and everything like that? And now the position I'm in right now, I'm directing over folks and every last one of them are white. But what kept me from getting there? I like to know, what about when I was going through this medical portion of school, I was the only Black person in the class. Guess what people from the hood said? Oh yeah, see, that's because of racism. No, I went to my professors and I asked them, hey, because I was still kind of learning. Hey, how come there's like let's look around, I'm like the ink spot on a big old white piece of paper. What's going on? They said, well, not many Black people, if at all, even apply to this position. They don't apply for physical therapy. They don't apply for jobs like this. They just don't, Ty. But if I was to believe the same rhetoric, and I'm not the same rhetoric that comes out of the hood a lot, Only reason why is because of racism. That's the reason why you only want in there. They don't want no black people in those programs. And the professor's like, you can go through the application. You go through all 200 of them and see that you were the only one this year that applied.
I will tell you something that also applies to what he just said. There's this narrative that blacks are kept out of STEM, and that is not necessarily the truth. Quite often, black people don't push their children into STEM programs, and a lot of times, when black and brown people go into STEM programs, whether it be in college, we'll use university as an example, they drop out. They drop out because the perception is that they themselves believe that they're not smarter than their white counterparts or their Asian counterparts or their Indian counterparts. See, this is another element of
where they got that idea.
This is why this is dangerous. This thinking is dangerous. The thinking is dangerous because you have grown black people walking around in corporate America right now who won't admit to you that they have imposter syndrome. Because deep down inside, they're questioning if, as a black person, they are allowed to be prosperous. They are allowed to live a life of opulence. They are allowed to break free of the chains and the ideas of black degeneracy. This is why this thinking and these ideas are so fucking dangerous, because it's destroying the potential of people who are actually gifted, but they tell themselves they'll never be good enough.
I don't see where
this. So I can move on in the comments. Thank you for the super chat, Fahim Jackson. Fahim Jackson says, of America's over $20 trillion economy, we're about 2 to 2.5 trillion. We have the money to self-actualize. That means our spending power is above most superpowers.
Absolutely.
We can fund our own futures today. Let me repeat the last sentence. We can fund our own futures today.
Absolutely. I agree.
Okay, so this is where I agree with
Black,
MRM,
and then that goes back into Black unity and the Black consciousness collective of saying this is what we want to do as a community, as a different outposts or collectives of different communities. Let's pool our resources, create a Black economy, a Black financial institutions to build out the Black community without the depending upon any other groups. Of course, I mean, we have 30 Black billionaires. We have 30 Black billionaires worldwide. There's 2,000.
And what are they doing for blacks?
2,500 billionaires. There are 2,500 billionaires worldwide. 30 of them are Black. Okay. So with that being said, we have the ability. Yes, I agree, but it's also a united collective consciousness of saying this is what we want to do. We want to see Black communities, Black schools empowered, Black education, and a Black understanding. Again, that is that's an aspect of what we should be doing and could be doing versus trying to just fall into. I think the biggest problem that we have historically is integration.
We don't want that. If we wanted that, we would be doing it. I'm just keeping it real. We don't. We with our mouths we say that. Yeah, we need to be, but we really don't want that. That's the reason why I say when it comes to like even dealing with young people, I deal in reality. I don't deal with the whole we was kings and we created and what we doing now is what I want to know. What we want to do now and where do you want to go? Wherever it is, let's get on track and let me put you on the trajectory to get there. Otherwise, I'm not going to go back on this. Man, see, if we was able to, if you know it's not going to happen, so not going to happen because what it does, it keeps you stagnant. There's no growth there at all. The same guys that when I was a preteen growing up in the hood in Chicago and in Decatur, the same guys that I was around that was talking that same talk. Here I am married 22 years, got sons, one got his own place, one is in college for cybersecurity. If I was still under that same thought process that they are under, currently my age, they still in the hood talking about, yeah, man, these white folks, man, they do really? 2023, you still talking about, yeah, but the white folks, they ain't okay, y'all got it. Apparently what y'all saying works and there's no growth, no movement at all. They're still there in the same place.
So a couple of things have to happen. Modern Renaissance is I know you would probably agree with this. Is personal accountability, right? From the bottom, at least from the bottom, working up. That's going to have to happen at the individual level. Then it becomes collective, and then it flows out from there.
Because
you would agree with that, right?
Successful in medicine and everything like that. Guess what? we all are surrounded with each other. But ask us if we're trying to spend our time with the ones down there still talking like, see, but if we could, if we no, we ain't talking about no we could. You either gonna get up there and do it or you're not.
That's the point I was about to make. Thank you for going there, because and you said we don't want it. Perfect example. We don't, because the example is anytime we do make it out, we keep the fuck going. That's what everyone does. Not just black people, not just white people. People do that. That's what humans do. We keep the fuck going.
What happens to the people that go back, Lily?
They get shot like Nipsey Hussle.
That's it.
They get deleted
by the people you're trying to help. Like, it's just that simple. Like, why do people? That's why I can't stand the we should. If like this is what it should be, it'd be nice if. That's not real. It's not real. You can only deal with what is, not fables.
So we should just resign to just exist, is what you're saying, and just say, okay, if we hold on, listen. But I mean, what you're just saying. But I'm saying, if we see collectively there is a problem in the educational system, if we see there's collectively a problem in a variety of black communities, should we not stand and take a collective position of making a change with that? For those who are intelligent enough, who are empowered enough, who have the skill sets, should not we turn back into our communities that we come from to aid those or develop those communities so that they reflect the intelligence that those that are successful possess?
You're putting the cart before the horse. Before you can do all that good stuff, you got to first be willing and able to tell the truth about the state of where everything is. You can't even do that.
What are you talking about? I don't understand.
You like every time we say what is, you're like, well, no, should and if, but maybe. You can't even sit in.
But it was just presented that there's $23 trillion that are in some sort of black economy that could be utilized. So I'm saying, why not utilize it in that manner if that does exist? I'm following the chain of the conversation when it comes to that point. If there's $23 trillion or whatever the number was that exists with black economics, then why can we not now turn that energy collectively? If that was proposed in the conversation, it was proposed in the conversation. That's what we can do.
They want to do and don't do what they don't want to do.
Thank you. Wait, Lily, that's what I was about to ask. Ish, have you ever been in a bad relationship?
Yes.
Have you ever been in 2 bad relationships?
Yes.
Have you ever been in 3 bad relationships?
Yes.
Were you ever able to get that other person sitting across from you to do what you wanted them to do?
That was a question.
Well, we can say yes and no. I'll say yes and no.
Well, you're not with them now, so the answer is no, not yes and no.
Well, no, not necessarily. I mean, if you're asking, could I make them or get them to do something that they didn't necessarily want to do? Yes, I've had circumstances.
That's not what I'm asking. That's not what I'm asking. But I'll play semantics. Okay. Fuck it, we're here. I'll play semantics with you. Did you get the person to live up to the standard that you wanted them to be at, so they could be your woman? Did you get them there?
No, there are relationships that were bad that did not happen.
Right. Okay. So is that not proof up close and personal in your life that showed you people do what they want to do, when they want to do it, how they want to do it? You keep talking about this utopia. If we just come together, if the $1 trillion, blah, 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 there are the haves and the have-nots throughout the globe. Throughout the globe. You're still, it's very, and I'm just saying in general what I see. I'm not even going to include anybody else. Y'all can say what y'all see. But what I see is your train of thought is weird to me. You're speaking the liberation of black people coming together.
Okay.
Kumbaya, my Lord. That shit doesn't exist. Not only doesn't it not exist, guess what? This is really going to kill you. It's not even necessary.
Okay, so let me say this.
It's not necessary because let me tell you something. Listen. Let me tell you, the cojones that the little black or brown boy needs in the worst schools in the worst hood is the same cojones that the little white boy needs growing up with the meth head parents in the trailer park. They just need cojones. Some people make it.
I absolutely agree with you on that. I believe that the same
no matter
dynamic.
who comes back to save the hood.
Let
No
me
matter let me tell you something. No matter who comes back to save the hood, you keep saying, well, if they pool the money together, Nipsey went back. Okay, so Nipsey may have helped maybe 1 or 2 guys. Nipsey was like, hey, I fucking opened up the fucking marathon store. I got jobs for you. Maybe 2 or 3 black dudes was like, oh, great. I always wanted to work for somebody black. I love you, Nipsey. And then there was another black guy who pulled up and took his life. That is life. That's life in our neighborhoods. Some motherfuckers like the state that you're in. They're in. You keep talking like there's this discomfort that black people want out of poverty, that black people want out of disenfranchisement.
So I would say if they don't want.
Look at the following that Sexy Red has. Look at the following that Ice Spice has. Look at the following that Cardi B has. And I dare you to go in that chat and say something against those women. Look at the following that Future has. Look at the following that Nick Cannon has. I dare you go in the chat and say something sideways about those people. You have to understand people like living a certain way. And you keep talking like black people are uncomfortable and they need people to come help them.
In the aspect of what I do personally in relationship to being involved in the black community and changing our condition hands-on and going into individuals where I deal with gangs, I deal with jails, I deal with people that are on drugs. And what I have discovered and experienced is that when you change the way a person thinks, when you introduce them another concept of their self-identity, then you start to see that there is a desire to change their condition. There's a different way of way they desire to live. The Nation of Islam has been successful in taking those who are considered degenerates and changing their process of thinking based upon how they see themselves. So when I speak from the aspirational dynamic of saying, if we just did this, if we just did that, it's based upon those experiences. So when I'm looking at a brother who has tattoos all over his face and he's selling dope and he's got a gun in his hip, and who I just saw, a couple weeks ago, Brother Ish, I'm starting to look at the world differently because you approached me with a new way of seeing myself and seeing the world. So that's an aspect that I'm talking about. That's the aspirational dynamic that I'm speaking from. I'm not speaking from.
So then you're fine. Then you're but that's not gender specific or race specific. You just like doing charity work. You like helping people. That has nothing to do with with the black community. You just like helping people. You do charity work. Black people do it. White people do it. Latin people do it. Asian people do it. That's all. But for you to act like this is going to create some sort of utopia, to me, I think is bullshit. Some people want more out of life and some people don't. And some people it takes a conversation and some people it takes, hey, I'll get your tattoos removed. But you're speaking as if this is supposed to cure the black community. And I don't think the black community is sick. I think the black community is like any other community on planet Earth. There's some people that want out of the bullshit and some people that are comfortable in the bullshit. That's how I see it. And that's all over the world. You could go to Mumbai. You could go to Mexico. Wherever you could go to Alaska.
To the brothers on the
I would agree with Ms. Jen on that. Is that so? People
just ask a few questions. Wait, let me just ask a few questions because I'm about to leave. To the brothers on the panel, what are the academic numbers of most of our children in the community? In terms of reading and math, what are their academic numbers in the public schools?
Yeah, we know it's like 85% can't do math and reading at level.
So we can contend that our children have a very poor relationship with information, with the retaining and exercising of information. Can we contend that?
Yeah.
Okay, so every great leader and every capable individual, capable citizen has proven to have a healthy relationship with the retaining and the exercising of information. Through that, you get discipline. Malcolm X proved that. At some point in time, he revisited his ability to retain and exercise information. He became the man that he is. But the point here that I'm making is that we're not having a solid discussion about the educational system. Our children in these environments, and how many of their parents aren't getting involved in their education. They're dropping their kids off at school. These schools have become glorified daycare centers. Me personally, my solution for it is y'all motherfuckers figure that shit out. My kids going to private school. because I'm going to put myself in the position to ensure my kid goes to a private school, because there are certain premiums that can be taken advantage of. And when you're in those kinds of environments, that 9 times out of 10, they don't necessarily have to deal with a lot of that bullshit, because these are institutions that are protective of their brand. And they are going to ensure that those that leave said institution are a reflection of their brand and are usually the brightest and the most capable. Now, again, like I'm saying, we're not having these solid discussions about sitting down with our children and actually grooming them to be solid, whatever they want to be. Do they want to be employees? Do they want to be entrepreneurs? We're not grooming them. We're not taking the time out to do this.
You're talking about collective determination again, and that's all.
I'm talking about collective determination. I mean,
you just said we. Who's the we?
We can individually do that. We can. This is your kid. You can look. Listen, I didn't succumb to the idea of collective anything. I said
you just said we need to teach our children,
and I'm taking my kid to this particular situation.
You just spoke in a we. You said we need to teach our children. We need to do this. We need. Who is the we then? It's a desire to have a collective determination.
The parents are going to have to do that.
What you're saying,
I would say the parents are going to have to do that, because that's where that stuff is going to start. So that this is the personal level of accountability that I'm always talking about, right? So that's where that's going to start. You guys said a lot, and then actually Ms. Jen actually said something that I agreed with, but we kind of got past it. And if I remember it again, I'll try to go back to it, because I don't agree with it too often. So I wanted to kind of make that point.
Whoa, hey, remember that?
Yeah, you did say something I agreed with, and but I would say this, Mr. Ish, with the stuff that you're saying and what you're doing is commendable. But the people who come to you, they're willing, right? That's the key thing.
No, let me say this. No, hold on. Let me start here.
Okay.
I'll give you a prime example. I've come into a group of young gang members in South Central LA. Assalamu alaikum, how you doing, brothers? And offer them the paper, and that kind of situation, and talk about changing our community. One of them cats will be like, "Fuck Farrakhan." Okay. My response is, he doesn't feel that way about you, brother. We have a conversation, we interact, we dialogue. I come back again. I come back again. I come back again. I come back again. That same brother that said that to me was resistant at that point, saw my commitment, saw what I was sharing with him was something that he wanted to come out of a lifestyle that he was living, is now in the mosque, is now in the nation, and is now.
Wait, he what? Wait. He what?
He's now in the mosque.
No, you said he wanted. That sounds like willing to me.
There you go. That's literally the point I was just trying to get to.
But what I'm saying, he didn't start off willing.
But he wanted, at some point he became a willing participant in the major change in his life. And this is I got it now. This is what I agree with Ms. Jen about. This is what I agree with her about. There are some people who actually want to stay in the life that they're in. Period. Yep. No matter, you could go back 100 times, 200 times, 2,000 times, and they're going to still be in that life. They have to be willing to make that change. That's what I wanted to say, Ms. Jen. That's where I agree with you. Right?
It is just that simple. I don't know why we keep splitting hairs on that.
Again.
Yeah,
the willingness. Sometimes the willingness.
But there are men that you've gone up to and kept saying "fuck Farrakhan" and get off the block, right?
When I've run into that, no. I mean, I take the time to pause to think about it. No.
So, Mr. Ish, I appreciate your idealism.
I know. When I say that seriously, over my 34 years of being in the nation, anybody that I have taken the time to go back and forth with, I have seen a change in their situation.
But that's because they wanted to change.
Every last one of them.
That's all it was.
No,
it was something that happened. And now you help facilitate that, and that's great. But what I'm telling you is that there's something that happened. There's something that happened in their life that said, you know what, this gentleman over here is right. I'm going to listen to what he's talking to. You went back to after the 30th time that you actually interacted with that person. Something might have happened that said, you know what, this life is not for me. I'm going to listen to Mr. Ish right now. All right, but on that same note, there's going to be a group of people who's still going to say no to you, though.
I streamed this live over to my channel, so a lot of folks from my channel is over here right now. So some of them wanting to jump on, they asking to drop the link, but that's your choice if you want to do it, because apparently this is hot. So
yeah, it's hot, but it's fucking late. I want to say really quickly, very quickly, We don't just do this. We don't just argue about race. I interviewed Big Daddy Kane, okay, a couple days ago. Please check that out. All right. Please check that out. Just interviewed him about the hip hop 50th anniversary. Also, Lily and I, the lovely Lily you see on the panel right now, we have a show called Sisterhood Sips. It is Lady Talk. That is the room you want to be a fly on the wall in. We talk about everything relationship wise, what we think about men from our point of views. Our last show was about penis sizes, color, shape, circumcised, uncircumcised. We talk about relationships. So you can hear about what women really say if you are fly on the wall. So please check this out, Sisterhood Sips. And please also check out my interview with Big Daddy Kane. Now, I have to, my panel and I, we have to respect the conversation is amazing. We could do a part 2, but I have to respect their time. So I will do a vote. We have like 100 people in the room right now. It is up to them. And it is up to you. I can keep going, but I'm on West Coast time.
No,
Yes, Kimmy Joe.
I just gotta go because I gotta film tomorrow. But no, y'all keep going because I just gotta because the director literally keeps texting me like I need my outfits now and I gotta get off. So that's y'all.
What's the vote? What's the vote?
I'm out. Y'all can stay.
I have a whole different conversation I wanted to have with Ms. Jen because of the stuff she keeps saying.
Like I said,
but that could probably be another panel though.
People that want to hop on. So
I need to dip out because I gotta be a parent.
Yeah, we can do part 2. Chaotic Truth, you ain't coming up on my shit. Fuck off. Run into traffic blindfolded, bitch. Like these motherfuckers really think you forget who they are. Go run in traffic blindfolded, you little bitch. You little greasy big ass forehead ugly bitch. Fuck out of here. These people really think you forget them. I don't forget, bitch. I'm like an elephant. You and your bitch. Fuck you both.
I don't remember.
Clip that,
Shout out to Abby tonight. Abby NYC. You were dropping bombs tonight. Sis.
Oh no.
Now, with that said,
Jefferson tried to come up this motherfucker.
He a little bitch. You and your ugly nigga. All right, so clip that shit, ho. All right, so with that said, guys, I gotta say, thank you. This was amazing. I will do a part 2. I promise. Look out for it. Just check out my community tab. Follow the people on the screen. We all have great fucking content. MRM, thank you. You are the fucking best. Kev C, thank you. Even though we don't always agree, thank you for coming up. Brother Ish, thank you for catching that shrapnel, man. Ron DeMarco, you already know. No saying thank you for being our resident white guy. Lovely Lily. Hope you have a great shoot mañana. And we will see you all here very soon. We could do a part 2. I'm cool with
part 2 would be great. Sometimes you gotta know when to just sit back.
And you did that well tonight.
Tell your boys at the CIA.
A big shout out to Modern Renaissance. He always comes with the good information. So I always appreciate you, brother.
MRM always brings the heat. He always brings the heat. Okay. These little gremlins in the chat, fuck ass shit. Motherfucker, no, you was a bitch then and you was a bitch now. Fuck out of here. Anyway, good night, guys. Thank you for joining us. Be good. And if you can't be good, be careful. Hit that like and subscribe. Thank you so much. Don't forget to check out those interviews. Okay. Mama was happy. Thank you for being here tonight. And you guys are welcome on the part 2 if you like. A lot was said tonight. Oh my goodness. But always remember, we're up here in good faith. We want the best for people. We just want y'all to stop being fucking slaves to the fucking, you know what I'm saying, imaginary oppression. Yes, systemic oppression is real. All that shit is real, but we can overcome. We have over and over again. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here. I really do appreciate you. I don't take your time lightly. So thank you for being here. Check out the rest of my content. And I'm also on The Block with Jen on Instagram. If you want to get to know me better, on The Block with Jen on Instagram. I also got a couple movies on Tubi, Amazon, and Star. So you want to rock with the kid. All right, guys. Good night.